How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to talk about a topic that's been going around lately, um, relating to the layoffs and how is this related to AI, how AI is affecting jobs in the gaming industry, all from my point of view, which is a game developer, game artist. Now, in this channel, we cover a lot about the game models, game assets that go into AAA video games, indie video games. We also have some discussions about how to use characters inside Unreal. So if you like that type of content, please subscribe. I'm also going to start including a little bit more commentary into current industry situations from my point of view. Usually because the dissected videos take a while to make and I can only make one video a week. So I want to have more content for you on the channel. So let me know if you like this type of video and what kind of topics you want me to cover. With that being said, let's get started. The layoffs in the gaming industry are not something that is rare. This is something that's been happening for quite a while, and it has to do with the cycle of how games are done. So once those big studios are in pre-production and enter production, they see that they need more developers, so they hire more. Sometimes they overhire. And once the game is out, they usually downsize. Usually a lot of people are either moved to a new project, moved to a DLC, or the team is completely downsized and only a core team stays to give support to the game for as long as the studio has money or the publisher wants to support the game. That's a cycle that's been there every time. This past 3 years, the layoffs have been a lot bigger than usual. And the reason is because of AI, but not in the way that you think it is. A lot of people think that is AI just going to be replacing developers and that's what's going on. The problem is actually has to do with how companies are handled, at least in the USA. Because companies here like Microsoft, EA, all those companies, they are public companies. A lot of people on social media like to say, hey, if we boycott this, then they're going to change this company, this big studio, Activision, EA, they're going to change. They usually not going to change because you are not their customer. Their customers are the shareholders. What shareholders say goes. And around the pandemic era, it was very popular for venture capitalist firms to suggest to shareholders that they would put in stocks in everything that has to do with video games because video games were doing so well. Everybody thought that we were going to be locked up forever and, video games were going to grow and grow exponentially. Now that AI has come, those same companies that told investors and shareholders back then to invest in video game companies, they are telling them to invest in companies that have AI. So that is where the money is going. And that is what Microsoft is doing, what it's doing. By the way, this is not me trying to defend them or anything. This is just how things are. Microsoft, what they did is we need to pivot to AI, whether they like it or not, because that is what the shareholders want. Whether their pivot to AI when it comes to Xbox is successful or not, doesn't matter. It's what the shareholders want. It's what the investors want, and they need investors' money. Even though they have amazing profits, investors are the ones that are saying we want AI, so Microsoft is going to be doing AI. Whether this will end up being a good thing or not for those companies, I don't know. I have my own opinions about AI that some people don't like. We'll talk about that later in the video. But that is how things are. And that's why layoffs are happening. Also, during the pandemic era, there was a lot of overhiring because they thought the industry was going to grow so much. Companies just started throwing money at studios and they started like overhiring because if you get funding, you have to do something with that funding. You're just not going to like pile it on into your house and say, hey, there's a lot of funding there for whenever we need it. No, you need to hire, you need to get equipment, you need to do all those things. And sadly, because that investment is no longer there, then people are let go, and it sucks. It sucks the way that this is handled, And that's one of the downsides of public companies being so involved into video games. Now let's talk about AI from the point of view of the game development. See, there was a big layoffs that happened at King, so part of the Activision Blizzard King company. That's a company that makes Candy Crush. From what I've read in several articles, the team that developed the tools was the one that was fired because they automated themselves out of a job. And how do you avoid that? I don't know, because if you are tasked to create a tool that will eventually replace you, like what do you do? If you don't make the tool, you're gonna get fired either way. So that's something very difficult that I mean I wouldn't want to be in that position. So you will hear a two sides of this coins are the ones that are very popular is either all of us are going to be laid off, like there's not going to be any more game dev jobs, AI is going to do everything, and that is it for this profession. We just need to look for something else to do. The other camp says AI sucks so much that companies are just wasting their time, and in the end, it's not going to pan out. The truth is more in the middle. See, about replacing the whole portion of game development with I don't think that is going to happen because there are a lot of tools that we use to build games that people like myself, 3D artists, game artists, have been asking to have AI do it. And there are no companies working on that. Not even the big ones like Autodesk, Adobe. No one is working on those tools. Like there is a lot of automation in the realm of at least 3D. Like I 2D games are a separate animal, but at least when it comes to 3D, and most modern games are have some sort of 3D graphics, there are a lot of things that need to be taken into account with a lot of tools that I would like to have AI do that doesn't exist. Like I would like to have AI unwrapping. I would like to have AI perfect retopology. I would like to have AI perfect rigging with like correct weight mapping and all that. Those tools do not exist. And the big companies are not focusing on making those. They're focusing on things that make model, which fine, the models that you get are like 3D scans models. And they're still not usable, maybe for props, but for characters, at least so far, the 3D models are not usable because of the other things that involve assets for a video game. When it comes to like movies and all that, that's different because it's not an interactive media. It's not running in real time. When it's run in real time, there's a lot of things that you need to take into account. Is it going to get harder to get a job in game development? I believe so. And it's not due to AI taking those jobs. It's more due to investment not being as big into video games. Because as you see from this video of Bellular News, you can see the investment on video games, how pretty much has gone down by a lot lately. And I think it's going to keep shrinking. It's probably, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I think it's going to shrink to the point where it was in the early 2000s. In the early 2000s, there most of the studios were small. Like Activision, Blizzard was not what it is today. It was a very small company. The company that's produced the first Diablo was like many miles smaller than what they have right now. Same thing with all the other famous games, like how they produce Assassin's Creed. The team that produced the first Assassin's Creed was never as big as the teams are nowadays for the games, the Assassin's Creed games that are coming out. So I think overall the studios will keep on shrinking because, yes, there are tools where you are no longer needing that many people to create a video game. And again, it's nothing to do with AI. It's just like the actual tools to create a video game. Like Unreal Engine does so many things for you that you used to need like a whole battalion of people to do. Now Unreal Engine does it for you. When it comes to character creation and all that, it's getting much easier. And again, nothing to do with AI. It's just the tools are much better. So you need less people. That's how something like Expedition 33 happen with so few people. And even if they use contractors, they still the core development team was pretty small for like today's standards, and that has to do a lot with the tool. And you can see how high of a quality of a game they produce. This is going to become more of a norm. So when I got into the industry, the advice from industry veterans was to specialize. If you like making characters, then just make characters, do not make environments. If you like making environments, then focus on that. If you like making lighting, just focus on that. I believe that if you are a 3D artist and you like to do something in particular, you should try to master that something in particular. Like if you want to be a character artist, try to master character art, but do not neglect the rest. In fact, just my example, I love making characters. However, that's not what I do for my day job. I am a 3D artist as my day job, but I don't make characters. I make environments. I make models from CAD models. If you know that, like AutoCAD and stuff, PNIDs. Um, and I love my job. I love what I do. I love making characters too, but I love 3D model for a living. So if you are a game artist, should you give up? Don't look for a job. It's done. No, it's not. There's still a job for you if you're good. You'll still be hired, but it is going to get much harder. The industry is saturated with talent. We have very, very little leverage unless you are a well known artist that has worked on several games. Experience is key. So try to look for experience in any place you can. Back in the day, I worked for free for a couple games. Some people frown on that, but hey, you got to do what you got to do to get your foot in the door. And if you don't have experience, a lot of studios would not even give you the time of day. Going to school is not going to change that. So master your craft, go get some experience. I know it's painful to get experience without getting paid, but do what you got to do to get that experience so you can get the foot in the industry. All right, so let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this subject? What do you think it's going to happen to AI? What do you think it's going to happen to game development? I usually read my comments and reply to most of them, so make sure you let me know your opinions downstairs. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, because now more than ever, YouTube is paying more attention to videos that get more engagement. So please just leave a like. It's just a tick. If you like the video, leave a like. And subscribe if you haven't. It helps a ton. And if you can, leave a comment. That helps a lot as well. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way to this point. Stay tuned, because the next video I have after this is going to cover Destiny 2. So I'll see you in the next one.